All right. Let's do this. All right.
Hey, D, why don't you start talking? I think you're up now. I think we're up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. We are having multiple technical issues here. Not sure what's really going on.
Oh, there we go. How you doing, man? Can you see me?
I can see you. I'm having a multitude of issues with restream. I don't know what is going on.
That's not a problem. But we got Diana Olacino from Bedford, New York. Diana, is that upstate New York? Man.
So, anyhow,
right.
We're here. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We had a multitude of issues on that one.
It was a grand entrance.
Ain't the first time it's ever happened, but it's still annoying.
That's true.
It was having trouble. Restream was having trouble tonight, though. I could barely get in. It was freezing me. And then we ended up, I don't know what it is.
Well, that's why it's called Restream. It gave us a chance to restream this.
I can see.
Hey. Oh, north of New York City, Westchester. All right, Westchester. That is before Poughkeepsie, right above New York City. That's where I believe so. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyhow, we're here on a spontaneous fireside chat. Very spontaneous.
That's right.
In fact, it's so spontaneous. Hopefully it won't. You know what? I'm not touching the graphics. I'm not touching anything but the chat. That is not happening.
Oh, you're not going to be that spontaneous, huh?
And no.
I hear that.
I touched the video and also went kablooey on me. I mean, it was.
Like I said, that's the reason why they call it Restream, because we got a chance to restream it. Mr. Reed, you see, I have my KT T-shirt on. I got my KT polo on. You know,
I see that.
So
I've got my NPA shirt on. I'm still looking for my KT shirt. I don't know where it went.
Well, you know, Mr. Reed can't find his KT shirt, but those of you all watching, you can go to the Kenny Trail store on our website and you can get your own T-shirt as well. Hello, my LinkedIn family, my Facebook followers, YouTube users, Twitter's on Twitch, and you know what? We got the what is it called? The Twitter jitters.
Yeah, we got people on Facebook. I think Deb Cody's watching us. Hey, Deb.
Hey, Deb Code, how you doing? Is that Deb Wild Coyote Cody?
That is true. That is true.
Oh.
That is very true. But yeah, I don't. It's crazy. But you know, you're right. Talking about the store, we do have merchandise on the store, and right. For all of you wonderful folks out there, the store, we're getting ready to revamp the store as far as the merchandise.
Are we?
We have went with a company. I'm very excited to be announcing that collaboration very soon. Worked with them with some designs of T-shirts. We're going to have a Kenny Trail shirt and a Kenny Trail press shirt. So we're going to have one of those. And what else? journals too.
Journals.
Yes.
I was unaware about the journals. Okay.
I forgot about it. I forgot to tell you.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's always surprising. Even within the KTT, we have our own surprises. That's good.
We do, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's crazy some of the things that end up happening. But it is good to be here tonight. I mean, we had originally planned this live stream. Oh, what was it? Last month.
Back in August.
And there was a reason for that too. And if you can move just aside, we can show a little bit of that reason.
That's right.
Because if you can see there, ladies and gentlemen, it was the first anniversary of Waylon Williams becoming a author with his graphic novel. I don't know about that. So
right.
we had planned it, but we had a lot of shows.
Oh yes. Things
that are happening, and we were able to just had to reschedule. And Dee and I were talking today, say, hey, why don't we just jump on and see what happens?
That's right. That's right.
So how you been doing, man? What's been going on?
Man, there's been a lot going on with me. First and foremost, man. Any of those of you all who are dialysis technicians, we just pray to God that we get off before the sun goes down. So I was fortunate to get off work a little early today. Enjoy some Phoenix sun, which is we're always Phoenix rising. And Anthony, that's when you and I decided that we'll do a chat. So there's been a lot going on with me. In addition to this graphic novel that we published, a year ago, entitled, I don't know about this, a patient initial dialysis treatment, which was dedicated to my late mother, Annie R. Williams. There's a lot, and we'll touch on that in a little bit, but, myself and Richard Cabrera will be in Indianapolis in 2 weeks for RHA, the Renal Healthcare Association, which will be having their conference there on the dates of October 5th through the 7th. Richard Cabrera and myself will be on the home hemo panel. We have an open discussion with IDT. So those of you, if you're in the Indianapolis area or you want to, watch us virtually, visit the RHA website.
I wonder if anybody in our audience is going to be there. If you are, put it in the chat. Maybe
exactly. I hope so.
Deke and Rich can collaborate.
Most definitely. We're always up for a kidney collaboration because we like to explore the unknown territory. Also, Mr. Reed, there's also there's some great news, some other exciting news, and everyone who knows me knows how I feel about the lovely city, the Emerald City, the city of Seattle, Washington. I was so much in love when I had a chance to live there, reside there, work there, and visit the only dialysis museum in the Northwest of the United States, which is, with Northwest Kidney Center. In spite of that, you're looking at the fourth muddler, which is me, is that I get a chance to participate in a cocktail mocktail competition along with the bartender mixologist. And we try to develop a special drink that's going to win the hearts and eyes of our audience at the gala. The gala in Seattle for Northwest Kidney Center will be on the dates of October 15th, which is a Saturday. So if you're in the Seattle area, please come by and you may get a chance to meet me and everyone else of the Northwest Kidney Center team. So, Mr. Reed, I am so excited about that. And this is my first time ever doing an event with Northwest Kidney Center. And this event also is the first since COVID-19. And when we talk about COVID, that's a whole nother story. That's what's been going on in my neck of the woods. Me, I've always got things under wraps as well, but those are the main things. We have RHA October 5th through the 7th, Northwest Kidney Center Gala, which we will have October 16th, and the 1-year anniversary of our graphic novel, I don't know about this, a patient's initial dialysis treatment. Man, it's hot in Phoenix, but I feel like I'm on fire. And I guess that's why we're on the Fireside Chat.
It's getting ready to get warm. I hear that. On the 1 year, I mean, we're past the 1 year anniversary, but the one thing about it is the Kidney Trail Press team. So when I say Kenny Trails and Kenny Trail Press, they're, I own both of them. But
yes,
the one decision that I made, and I met with another team member of that, and we were talking about it, and we made the decision to actually start doing these ebooks. So you will more than likely be able to see, you will see Dee's book. I don't know about this on the on an ebook form.
You're right.
Which I think it's interesting to do that. I was kind of hawing about,
Right.
But,
we got a co-host. We got another co-host.
We have a co-host coming in from behind me. Where'd you get that ice cream? Sorry.
That was from one of our sponsors.
What kind of peanut butter that is? But anyhow, where were we at? The ebook. So the ebook is going to be really unique, and everybody does it. And the thing is, one of the reasons that pushed me towards that really was we hear a lot about inflation, right? And and all the negative things in the world. And I can understand it. Money's probably for a lot of people getting a lot tighter. And I know, ordering paperback books sometimes is a little bit more expensive nowadays than it used to be. So one of the things we want to do is to be able to be able to give an opportunity to get the books, but not spend quite as much money into it. Invest in. You're still investing your money, but not as much, and you can still get the same great benefits. And it's on your phone or on your Kindle or whatever else you put it on.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we definitely want to make it more resourceful, more economically. That way everyone will be able to receive this ebook, and along with not just my ebook, but along with others. I know that you and I talked about that, with inflation, with getting the books printed and shipping. This would, it'll be more cost effective, going with the ebooks, and it'll definitely enhance more as far as the visuals of the graphic novel. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad that it'll be ready soon before I'm in my travels. So therefore, during my travels, I can share this information.
Right. And I think it's going to be fascinating too. And the great thing is you don't have to wait for shipping.
That's right.
You purchase it, it'll be right there in your hands within just a few seconds, as long as you're
exactly right. That's right.
Unlike tonight, where my bandwidth was, I don't know if it was my bandwidth or it was the platform itself. But that's coming up. The other interesting thing is we have working with another author. Their book is coming out. We're going to start their pre-sale very soon. Let's just put it this way. Let's look forward to October.
That's in 2 weeks.
We're getting there. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. And we just the publication, and it'll be interesting.
Oh man. So man, we started out, and I say we only, 2 years ago as a blog site. And then we went on to becoming a publishing company.
Right.
And we got into live streaming. So I can only say 2 years ago, it's been phenomenal for me. And ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about my book, but it's all about me. But you, Mr. Reed, as you said before, this Kenny Trails has been a vision, a dream, a destiny for you for how long again?
Yeah, since 2014.
2014.
10 years coming up in 2 years. Yeah, about 8 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So did you ever envision all of this right here, right now? I mean, the message that you wanted to get across and that you are going to get across, is it was it a definite premonition? I mean, is it going the way that you expected? Is it going the way, could it go away a little bit better, or is it going phenomenal? I mean, just share. I mean, overall.
with the interesting thing about this is certainly, first of all, back when I first planned out, I've told the story countless times, but basically I was in the chair and I wanted to find something that somebody was sharing lessons of life that they learned from kidney disease, dialysis, transplant. And really what I was looking for, and I look back at it now, I looked at it then, I knew exactly what I was looking for, somebody in the self-help, self-development, personal growth, personal development world to be able to bring this forth to light and fruition. But nobody was out there doing it. I mean, there were advocates, and once again, the one thing is, there's nothing wrong with advocating.
Right.
I think it's a stepping stone to greatness. You're just not quite there yet. So one of the that comment's going to get me in trouble.
I guess you meant to say it's okay to stay advocacy, but you want to go beyond.
You want to go beyond, right?
You want to go beyond. Yeah, you want to go beyond.
Lillian, I'm on the show, so I can see that one. I'm gonna see my DMs in the morning. It's just gonna be blowing up. What do you mean? So, but the one thing about it is that it really is a step in the right direction when you're advocating, but you've got to look beyond that. Okay, it's like somebody going on a trip and you get the halfway mark and then you go no further. You want to go ahead and it doesn't mean you don't carry it with you. It doesn't mean that you don't do different things about it. You just really want to use it as a good stepping stone. And there's a lot of great organizations that help out with that, and I think it's phenomenal.
Of course.
But with all this stuff with it, what I really was envisioning was seeing from the company or the dream. I didn't know the name of it, but what I saw was self-development, self-help, personal growth, collaborating in terms of the kidney disease, to where we have people that would be able to speak on that, work on that, and you know what? Now we're here. But I did not realize that in 2020 when I started it, that was still my envision. There was other things I've envisioned that are coming to fruition. It's just going to take time for them to be able to, to come forth.
Of course.
And those things will be. But I can tell you that it's went a little faster than I originally intended and envisioned. But that's okay.
Right, exactly.
That's okay.
So I like how you said that, with self-development. I made a post the other day, to piggyback off of, our business summit. And I wrote it, self-investment, self-improvement, self-awareness equals self-development. When you and I had this conversation about kind of like, where we see this going, and I can have reason to believe and to know and to hopefully manifest that with our self-development, it will go beyond the stars. So, I wanted some insight about you about that. I love the fact that you said that self-development, because what's your take on self-development as a whole for any individual?
Well, if anybody wants to be successful, I haven't seen anybody I'm sure there's a few, but if you want to be successful, self-development, self-help, studying that stuff is extremely important. I mean, you can't, if you go through life, I would look at it this way. If you go through life and you think you know it all, you know absolutely nothing at all. Basically, what it is learning lessons from others that have traveled that way as well. So, and some of the different things that we've got going on with it. I mean, I think back to the day, and I've said it once again. Hey, Lillian, I really need you to go to the other room, please. Okay?
Hey, everybody needs airtime, man.
Yes, you need your airtime. But it really is. It's this thing that I think that if you want to be successful, it is something that you'll be taking active part in. And it doesn't mean that you listen to the tapes. Wow.
Yeah, CDs, cassettes.
Well, I was talking about that. I was trying to put on a cassette for my daughter to go to sleep. I still have some cassettes. I have a cassette player.
Maybe you should have did the Fireside Chat in the car. I took her for a ride, and maybe she went to sleep.
Yeah, right. But really, but the CD, it's also reading. Okay.
Yes.
And that's where the publishing company comes in, because it's self-help, self-development, but we're a publishing company. So we're actually publishing the stories, the lessons that people learn along the way to the world, really. And we're bringing these different books, like the book we're working on now. And that is For the Love of Success by Jeremy Kirkus. A wonderful author, wonderful individual. He actually spoke at our Kidney Trust Summit in April.
Correct. He did. He definitely did.
So
he did.
It's a thing that I think that really needs to. It was definitely a unique way that it all came together.
Right.
It all came together.
Okay. I guess that's why I like to call myself the glue, because I like to see things come together.
Right. So, I mean, it's one of those things, and that's the one thing that I see now is that it's all kind of just worked hand in glove.
Right, I hear that, man. I like that. Yeah, because I said before, whenever you reached out to me, well, 2 and a half years ago almost, and you asked me to write on your blog, and I was like, sure, man. It doesn't matter. What you want me to write, and you said to me, I want you to write about a patient's first hemodialysis treatment. What was going through your head whenever you asked me? What was going through your head whenever you asked me about writing about patient's first dialysis treatment?
Well, the one thing is, first of all, I knew you had a story. You and I had met back in Vegas, and so I knew exactly that. I knew a little bit more about you, but what I really envisioned was you sitting down and writing, basically from your perspective on what a patient may go through. Yeah, I can, and I think we even talked about it that time. Says I can tell you what I went through or found out, but it's different from what a technician would say or from what a biomed, nephrologist, or any of the medical care team would say.
Right.
It's a different type of thing happening. So I think from both ends, because we had the perspective of someone that had on dialysis. It's not just me; it was a few others.
Right.
But then I wanted somebody from the medical field as well.
I hear that. I hear that.
It was very unique because I think we talked 2 hours that day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just say the least. Yeah. Most definitely. I remember when you asked me that, and then I didn't hesitate, but I remember I can't write about a patient treatment, and you said to me, well, how long have you been a technician? And I said at the time it was 20 years. And I said 20 years. You said, so you mean to tell me in your 20-year career that you never were able, honor, or privilege to participate in a renal patient's first ever treatment? So when you said that to me, I was like, man, first thing I thought about was HIPAA, I was like, wait a minute, HIPAA, because those of us who work in healthcare, we're always in a fishbowl, excuse me. There's always a target, no matter what, per se. And so therefore, we just watch what we say. We try to be respectful. And all that kind of went through my head. And I was like, well, I can't talk about that. And I was like, wait a minute. My mother, well, she was my mother before she had ESRD, who's deceased. And I said to you, hey, man, I want to write about my mother. And I remember saying to you, this cannot just be one blog. This has to go on and on. It is endless, not only because it was endless of my perspective and my mother's perspective, but my mother was not the only renal patient. I won't even quote a number of how many renal patients are in the United States, but I would say this, I was able to tell her story from my perspective, not me as her son, but me as a renal technician. So, whenever I came with this blog, and I've always wanted a comic book. And, and before we put this out, you said, let's not call it a comic book. Let's call it a graphic novel because, it holds a little bit more credibility of where we're trying to go. And I was like, well, where are we trying to go? You said, well, put your seatbelt on and then just sit back and take a ride. And I can say this is what I'm doing now. I'm in the passenger seat with the window down.
Well,
Oh,
we,
I, I
we
got my
were
hands up like
talking
I'm in a roller coaster, but I got my hands out the window. So.
Yeah, it's always going up.
Right, exactly.
Here was the interesting thing. You're talking about, the ride, and it really has been kind of a crazy ride since we started. When we started out with one blog, and it was my blog, and then it went into. It was me and Carol. I started out, and I remember looking at the numbers because I am a numbers guy. I do like my numbers. I do like looking at stats and stuff like that. So when I first looked at it, I remember I was so excited because I had 10 people look at the blog. Your LinkedIn post. I mean, that's where I started. I started on LinkedIn, and so we did the and then we did Carol's blog, which she still has her blog, Trail Food, and we'd get 10, 15. It's like, man, that's wonderful. That's great. That's 10 to 15.
Right. Well, yeah, that's right.
Now we get over 600 plus.
Right.
Thank you. You can go lay down over there. And we got now 500, 600 plus that read a blog within 24 hours every time we push one out.
Right.
And so what ended up happening where it was just starting up as a blog. It ended up growing quite quickly, quite fast. And I think that's and there's a reason behind that is because there has been a need for this for so long. And very few people, and not many that I know, I'm sure there may be one or two, but approach it the way that our team approaches it.
Right. I totally agree.
When you think about all that stuff. So it was interesting, and then we end up, the websites went through several changes, and we just made another major change. We basically gave the thing a whole facelift. We did a lot of different things on there. So if you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to go check out the Kidney Trails website because it's different. There's not it is focused on and there's a lot of things. We got the bookstore up there now because we've got more books coming. We've got we have the bookstore. We have the clothing line. We've got some different things on there. We're going to, like I said, we're getting ready to revamp that because we're getting ready to go with another company with that, which is going to be fantastic. Because we'll have a little bit more control of the inventory and what we do and make sure that it gets out there on time. Because I don't know, but now we've gotten all that, and then the Kidney Trail Press actually has their own website as well. Now.
That's right. That's exactly right. And we got the Fireside Chat with Mr. Anthony Reed, and he loves to do the impromptus, but he likes a more subtle approach with the fire burning and booyah. Flames getting spitting.
I'd have a fire burner right now in the background, but if I touch anything in the screen, it's all going to go kablooey. And the fire's going to get out of control, and it wouldn't be good.
I hear that. And you have the Rich and Dwellin show with Mr. Richard Cabrera out of California, and I enjoy being a co-host with Rich. I think that we connect very well. And speaking of that, we have more and more guests to come. And Mr. Reed, we're already booked to the end of the year, and I'm recently putting out dates for those who are interested as well. So, as you used to say, man, I can't keep up.
It's hard to keep up, when you have so much things happen. It was hard to keep up. But you're right. We got the Rich and Dwellin show. We got the Kidney Trails Fireside Chat. We have the Ant and the Glitter Bug, which is Dr. Noopy and myself.
Oh, that's right.
And that is coming up Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about communication. So
the Ant and the Glitter Bug are going to talk about communication, man. Oh man! Now, would that be a Fireside Chat? Will it be on the Richard Dwellin show, or will it be an Audible? Will it be on Dr. Noopy's station? Tell me, where is it going to be?
So this is going to be a LinkedIn audio event. So that's where we do all of our stuff. And the great thing about that is we can do call-ins. So basically, people can come up to the stage, talk, ask us questions, reiterate whatever they want to do. So and Dr. Noopy and I did we did my first one in August, and that was very spontaneous.
It really was. It was good too. It was good.
We had a meeting that morning. I think we were on the phone for. Oh, what was it? We were talking for over an hour, and somehow one of us mentioned about the audio event that I think I mentioned that like you try, and she said she'd never done one before, and we decided to try it.
I hear
And
that.
it was really well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
I think I was on there. I was on there for a little while. Yeah, it was great.
you were on there, and something was going on in the background. I heard something.
Yeah, I was experiencing how to use the audio, the LinkedIn way,
What a time to do it, right?
Right. Hey, hey, now we can say that we did it and we're not going to do it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
just like we restreamed 3 times tonight, and that's why it's called restream.
Exactly.
There's a purpose.
But it's went very. I think it's went well.
Right.
Once we did everything, we had that. We also have the Extraordinary podcast from
Okay.
Porter. He does that, and then we actually have the COVID Chronicles podcast, which we launched it. We did one show. I think Wills and I did one show.
Right.
But it looks like we're waiting for confirmation. I can't go into too much detail.
Right.
But there could be a revamp to that show. We could have some new hosts. We're not sure. We're working on that. But I can tell you, along with the COVID stuff, we kind of touched your hometown over there, Dwayne.
Oh, you mean where I reside at?
Where you're at, yeah, around there where you're.
Yeah, I have to correct you on that because my hometown is Fayetteville, North Carolina.
That's
But,
right.
that's not a problem. But I reside here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, specifically Tempe, which is the home of Phil the Fork, Arizona State ASU Sun Devils. So yeah, right. so you hit home to my home where I reside at right now. Now tell me, how was that so?
So what was it, back in June? June is what happened. I got an email from Kit Heitzman, who I didn't know who she was. She introduced herself. Right. She was with the Arizona State University Historical and Psychology, section of the school, and they were doing a research project. Right. About COVID and all the different things that had happened with COVID. And I remember calling Wills, because Wills and I've been pretty close since we started working together. And I was like, what's your thoughts? He goes, I have no clue. We were like, is it real? Is it this? Is it that? So we finally, I answered back, said, yeah, I'd like to meet with you. And I said, Wills, we got to make you sound good. So I'm going to make you research development coordinator. Yes. We'll just make it. It's not that we had already been talking about this for a while. I said, man, now it's time to jump. So we did. Right. And since then, we have been involved with ASU with this research project, and we have multiple interviews going on, some other things that we're working on with them as well. That's really exciting. Right. And that'll hopefully be coming out soon too, as well.
Oh yeah, because I had the honor and privilege of doing an interview recently, and and ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you, if you knew the importance of research projects, I was blown away. I'm still ecstatic about it, and it's already passed. But if it's research means that as history. I'll leave you with those words right there as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's several different types of research projects. There's medical research, there's psychological research, there's
right.
What we are involved in is historical research, which is a little different. Yeah, we're talking about COVID, but we're talking about the history of what COVID's actually done. And really, my drive home with all this is what did COVID do for us in a positive way?
Right.
Without COVID, I wouldn't be live streaming right now.
I wouldn't be a graphic novelist with many more to come.
Right. So it had its good things, and so doing that research project with ASU's been phenomenal. Working with them, working with Kit, and I know Wills has had a blast as well.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. You should invite him. We got 30 minutes. You should. He's available. He's always willing to jump in.
He is right now.
Oh, okay. We won't bother him. But Mr. Reed will tell you this: if you don't mind putting in the chat the link. Yeah, since yours truly is the fourth, is going to be the fourth muddler from Northwest Kidney Center at the Cocktail Mocktail Gala. Like I said, taking place October 16th. And yours truly is raising money. Now, I'm not in it for the money. We want to spread the love. But anything helps. When you ask for donations, it's going to a great cause. Mr. Reed put the link in. The link pretty much explains itself. And I'm gonna tell you something. What we're doing with that is we're raising money. It's all based for our patients all over, especially the ones in the Seattle, Washington area. So click on that link, and and like I said, if you're in the Seattle area, I hope to see you there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean that's gonna be phenomenal too.
I'm gonna have a blast. I'm very, very excited about going. I'm very excited. I mean, like I said, I've always been in love with that city, and we shall see what the future holds.
Right. And talking about events, we were talking about some of the things that are coming up. So we've got, you and I were talking about this earlier. Is you have RHA, right, coming
Yes.
up. You have Seattle coming up. So that's
Yes.
2 events, 2 pretty significant events, and then we have the Kidney Trails Building New Conference that is
Yes.
coming right in behind all that, and we pretty much have all the speakers.
Mm.
Have most of the moderators. We're still, reaching out to people, and we'll be announcing those very soon. We got
Right.
some great collaborations going on with
Mm.
another company that will not be mentioned right at this time. I think that one's going to be pretty significant. And
Oh man.
I can tell you, we are already expecting a big crowd.
Are we now?
We are. So what we're going to do is
Woo!
we'll start seeing some more promos coming out, and then how you can sign up. There will be a couple of different ways to sign up for this. So first of all, if you want to join us, it's all virtually. If you want to join us, so-called on screen, we will have tickets for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to purchase, but that doesn't mean that the thing about the conference is that I can remember being on dialysis, and funding, for somebody that was single wasn't too great because you got bills to pay and stuff like that. So we
Right.
still think about those people. They still want to get the information. So it will be live up on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff as well. So, you
Oh
just
man.
all the commodities that you would with ticket. I mean, being a ticket holder, you're gonna have a chance to social network, meet other
Mm-hmm.
people. There may even be some giveaways. We're still working on that.
Oh, giveaways.
Yeah.
I'm all about giving giveaways, man. Okay,
We've got some
that got my attention.
yeah. And there could be some credits involved, from what I understand.
Oh.
We're still working on that, so it's going to be a lot of different things, and we are really excited about it.
Mm.
With the plan, I was sitting down the other day, and Carol and I are getting ready to sit down too and talk about this, and get the
Mm.
speakers all lined up, the time frame, how long we need. I learned a lot from the last conference, and there's some
Right.
mistakes I'm not making again. We're not going to do this a whole day. I was wore out.
You look like you handled it pretty well.
Yeah, I was tired. I mean, it was rough for me. I remember, I think I had a birthday party right after that last day,
Ooh.
and I
Ooh.
literally did not get to bed till 11, 12 o'clock that night, that Saturday. I didn't even, yeah, we had other places to be, so I couldn't even. So
You was only there in spirit, huh?
I wasn't even there. My body was there. My spirit was wanting to go to bed.
Oh man. So yeah, so this business summit. Now, what are the dates for the business summit? November 4th through the 6th, or 5th through the 7th?
No, hang on. I think it's 3rd through the 5th.
3rd through the 5th. I always had those days mixed up because there's so much going on October and November.
Yeah,
Man,
3rd through the 5th.
so
And we're actually going to start it on a Thursday afternoon. We're not
okay.
going in the morning. One of the reasons is we had a good crowds in the morning,
Right.
but I want to give people an opportunity to be able to come to the conference, to be able to enjoy it, and not really have to worry about getting caught on the job going to a conference. So I want to get people so they don't have it's not a distraction, and they
Right.
actually be there and be able to pay, listen and get as much good of that, and that's really what it's about. The
Right.
community.
Right.
So,
So with this conference, I mean, are there any things that you can say that's going to be offered, any benefits, or you want to kind of keep it under wraps
no,
until?
no, we can definitely talk about it. So one of the things is we do know, one of the when I talk about benefits, we're bringing some, I feel, the top speakers in the renal and
Right.
self development industry, which is amazing. Now, it's some of the top voices that I know. In my book, they're top voices, but
Hmm.
we've got we have a I have a somebody I spoke with. Maybe you remember him, Marco Santana at
Yes.
Advance.
Yes. Yes.
He
I
speak,
remember
and
him.
one of the is as someone that was on dialysis previously, one of the things is I
Right.
did not realize that I could work in dialysis because we were
Oh.
told in different conference calls that you couldn't because I was with some different on different calls with different people.
Right.
Of course, I proved that wrong, but
Right.
Marco did too, and so he's going to be bringing his experience about the his journey from patient to where he's at now with the company that he works for, which is absolutely
Oh.
fantastic.
Yes. So he's definitely the other end of the spectrum.
He's been on all ends of the spectrum.
Mm.
Biome is like I like to say that I've been both sides of the machine, but he's been on both. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
We
Both
have
sides
a
of the machine.
yep, inside and out.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes.
uh, but then you have the second day. I think somebody named Doylan Williams is speaking.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be speaking at the Business Summit. I'll be presenting Know Your Worth because, as the saying goes, if you don't know your worth, then somebody else is going to determine it for you, and I will not allow that. So you should tune in as well to hear my speech about Know Your Worth and my journey as a dialysis technician, and beyond. So yes, I am. I'm saying, man, I'm in awe to be a part of this and to be surrounded by so many speakers of great caliber. And to be sure, I'll be tuning in whenever I'm not participating, so therefore I can gain and learn much myself. You know,
Yeah, and a good friend of both yours and mine's going to be there too.
who was that?
Mandy Tilton.
You wow. Now, yeah, there's only one Mandy, and if it's
You might have to repeat that. You cut out.
I was gonna say if it's the only Mandy that I know, there is only one Mandy. I think I'm gonna have to buy a ticket.
Yeah, she's gonna be there, and I would say she not only holds a very strong voice in the renal industry, but I think she holds a very strong voice in the self development area as well.
I concur. I concur about that. I had the pleasure of meeting Mandy Tilton during my presidency at DTX 19 in Las Vegas, and to hear her speak, I literally watched her from beginning to end, and I remember her sitting down. She had her notepad, and she was so attentive to the gentleman that was speaking prior to her, and
Mhm.
man, she didn't just walk up on the stage; she glided up on the stage. You know,
And she tore
I
the house
mean,
down.
she tore it down respectfully. She tore the foundation down, and we was able to say graciously, we will rebuild. So you know,
It
so
was
that
so
right.
funny. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say, just to be in her presence, and she's such a wonderful soul. I'm excited about her being there. So I mean, um, yeah, man, this is going to be great.
Yeah,
It's going to be
yeah.
great, man.
I'll never forget when she spoke. I remember she was speaking all these things. I'm like, man, she is teaching what needs to be taught. She was teaching a little bit about time
Yes,
management, a little bit about leadership, a little bit
yes,
about teamwork, and the things that and how to do it. Not necessarily
mm,
this is a slide. She was bringing things that I
yes,
had I had learned because I've been learning from it. One was from she was talking about Eat the Frog, which is from Brian Tracy. when his book,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very good book, by the way. So she's seeing that. I'm like, yes, I remember that book. I remember this. I remember that. I was like, study the same things that she's studying, that she's
Right.
bringing out, which is unique. And she brought things that I completely never knew about.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's going to be amazing. And then, we're waiting on some other things that are happening as well. But Saturday is going to be phenomenal as well because we got 2 people from the UK coming to speak.
Ooh. Oh, so Saturday's gonna be like a grand finale.
Saturday is going to be a huge grand finale. We are only having 3 speakers on Saturday.
Oh,
I think
gotcha.
each day we're only going to have about 3 speakers. I think it's just too much to try to take in
Yeah.
5-6 hours worth of a conference. But that doesn't mean, the thing is, it's not how much we have to give; it's the quality of what we give.
True. True. That's very, very
And
true.
one thing you learn in sales, it's not the quantity; it's the quality. You can
Right.
have a quantity of people. I remember back in the
Right.
day, me and somebody would argue and say, "Look, do you want quality sales or quantity? I want both. You can't have both.
Right.
You
That's
can have
right.
more of your." Most people that did quantity sales, the return was outrageously horrible, and they would meet the numbers. And those of us that had
Mm.
quality sales, we may not have a lot of sales, but we have sales that would not return, and that's more valuable.
Oh, it is. It really is.
So
Man, oh my goodness.
I'm really excited about all these different things that are coming up. Like I said, we talked about your book, the e-version. That's
Yes.
not really excited about that. We're still working on it. But it's gonna be announced very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen, where you're going to be able to order that one. We've got Yermi's book coming up. We've got another
Hmm.
author we are working with currently right now on their book and kind of sharing their story because they got absolute phenomenal story. That's the one thing about being a
Oh
publisher.
man.
Being a publisher is I get to read all these stories before anybody else.
Man, yeah, man. I mean, whenever you send me my, the case of my books, and even though I wrote the story and I already saw the illustrations by Tori Harris, which is our illustrator for the Kidney Trails, um, it's still until this day, it's still like unbelievable to know that my thoughts were put into graphic novel form and my perception allow individuals to literally say to me, and I quote, we had a customer that said, you know, that her husband said to her, I now know what my wife goes through. And I tell that story and I will continue to tell that story because who can say that they can go home or tell anybody close to them how their day is or what they're going through? And that phrase, as we say, you paint a vivid picture. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to paint a vivid picture of, from my perspective, of individuals who are on dialysis, from a perspective using my mother. And man, I hold that dear to my heart to be able to do that, and the positive feedback I got, that we got, excuse me, about, it was our first book, I honestly think, what I also think, Anthony, I think that everyone has seen us grow. They've seen us grow even more.
Right.
And that's where vulnerability becomes like a superpower.
Yeah.
You show that you're vulnerable. Who said that? What's the guy there? What's his name? I want to give him his props. He uses that. He's one of our contacts. What's his name? I forgot his name, but he says that. He mentioned. Say what?
It wasn't Brian Majors, was it?
It was a Major Prep. Oh my God, what was his name? I forgot. I need to look it up, but I remember he said that in one of his live stream, his podcast, a vulnerability is a superpower. Yeah, I want to give him his props for saying that. He was friends with Tisha Hammond. God, what was his name? Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I forgot. But
Yeah,
I have to look at.
Tisha, if you do this and you're watching this hashtag replay,
Yeah.
remind us who it is because I can't remember. I mean,
yeah.
In a while, I'm trying to remember who.
Yeah, because I want to give him his props because whenever I saw that, I was like, this gentleman, he's right. He's a vulnerability is a superpower because I feel as though once you become vulnerable, there's nothing else nobody can take away from you. I mean, you had no way to go but up. So that's what I loved about that.
But there's a lot of things, and that's the thing about
Right.
it. We're doing these live streams, which is it's something I really don't get tired of.
Right.
If I could do it every night, I would. Because we could always find topics to talk about, man. We could talk about kidney disease, what it does to an individual. We could talk about dialysis and how that affects people's way of living. We could talk about transplant and why somebody would say no to getting a kidney transplant. That would be an interesting topic. And actually, talking about research, I did a research project on that.
Really?
Yes, I did. And that actually got.
So you mean? So there's actually individuals out there. Carl Sean Watkins, that's his name, Mr. Carl Sean Watkins. Yes,
yep.
Brother, I'm sorry that I forgot your name. So you got to be a guest on our show, so I can. But yeah, Carl Sean Watkins said that in one of his live streams, vulnerability is a superpower, and I believe. Let me look at his profile. Yeah, he's gonna see that I viewed him too. I like that. Yeah, that's it. That is him. That is him. I am looking at it. I am definitely looking at it right here. It is vulnerability and DI consultant, keynote speaker, Carl Sean Watkins. Man, we just gave you some free advertisement due to my hiccup, and I didn't burp at it either, brother. I was being vulnerable.
Yeah. And if he wants to come on the show, one of the shows, just let us know, me or D, just scheduled.
Exactly.
But it really is. It really is. There's been a lot of great things that's happened over the past year. We're getting ready to go into this fall time, which we've got a lot of things planned, which is going to be great. So, Dwaylen froze up, and now
did I freeze up? Okay, I froze. Sorry.
Yeah, everything just dropped out on you, and you're just like, I'm like, uh-oh. When you think about all this stuff, yeah, we could talk about that. We could talk about the research projects. We could talk about what was one of the topics you and I were discussing the other day was something to do with transplant.
Yes, yeah, like you said to me, and we were talking that there's a possibility where there's some individuals who receive kidney transplant, and they haven't found the way or don't know the next step. Now, I say this in confidence because when my mother and when you said that to me, a light bulb clicked. When my mother received a transplant, do you know that she was still going through depression?
Oh yeah.
It was kind of like things. Dialysis stopped, but the feeling didn't. It's like the only thing that
right.
It's like the only thing that stopped was the time it took to go to prepare for dialysis, to go to dialysis, spend time in dialysis, and to not look forward to the next treatment. So now that says a lot because that's more than just a 3.5 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour treatment. That is still an issue, a major issue. And she received a transplant. So now I want to ask you something. Do you think that's probably the reason why some individuals deny a transplant due to the fact of the unknown? Like how we like to explore the unknown territory.
Well, I think one thing could be the unknown. It goes back to that story. I think Les Brown told it, if I'm not mistaken, where basically the individual, there was two countries at war, and one of the generals captured the opposing lieutenant or something.
Right.
And so he ended up bringing the individual to. Bringing him in after he captured him, said that, "Ham, we'll give you two options. Either you go what's behind that door, or you face a firing squad. Your choice." He said, "Well, what's behind that door?" And he said, the general said, "Nothing. It's unimaginable." And anybody that's walked out this door has never came back. And so. So with all that, He said, "I'll give you the night to think about. Let me know in the morning." They woke up in the morning and they talked to the opposing soldier. He says, "I'll take the firing squad."
Oh wow.
And when the general went back in the office, things had happened. Firing squad had done their job, and his secretary looked at him and said, "You say that to every single person. What in the world is behind that door?"
Mm.
And the general just sat there and put his hands in his head with a tear coming down his eyes. He says, "Freedom." He
Wow.
said, "But people won't take it because they don't know what it's about." And I think
Oh.
when it comes to transplant, people that's never had it,
Right.
it's hard. They don't know what's behind that door.
Right.
And a lot of times, hey, a lot of times what happens is by them not knowing what is behind that door,
Right.
they'll start to imagine the worst that could happen to them. Well, I only have it for so long, and then there could be rejection. I can only have this, and this might happen. I might reject it immediately and have to go back on dialysis, all these different things. And so when they're
Yes.
ready to go to the transplant, they get on the transplant and their expectations are fulfilled. That's the problem is
Yes.
people get these negative expectations of life. And what happens is when the positive thing happens, the negative expectations are fulfilled because that is what they have expected.
Ooh. You want to
Trans
go beyond what's expected.
Right. I mean, people think in their minds. I mean, think about it. If you concentrate on the negative things in life and you say, well, I've got a horrible this, horrible that, all these different things horrible.
Mm.
And if I go to start my business, I'm going to fail. And if I go to start the business, my family's going to not want me and all these different things. And I'm just going to utterly fail. Then when you start your business, you're going to utterly fail. Your family's not going to like you. You're going to feel unloved. And it's not going to be easy. Running a business, starting a business is easy. If vice versa, it doesn't matter whether it's running a business or you're getting a transplant. It's that
Right.
it's that scared of the unknown. The other thing about that is though, it goes into comfortability as well because
Oh
people
yes.
that have that are on dialysis a lot of times, especially if it's in center.
Hmm.
And this is the thing. I mean, I may be getting too deep, and it's okay. We're already in the waters. We might as well get in the waters to swim in.
Oh yeah,
Um,
most definitely.
when people are in center, and I can attest because I would attest it for myself.
Right.
When I left in center, it felt like a piece of me left because that was my social time. I knew these nurses. I knew, it's a social time. So when I
Right.
left, what happens if you don't have a purpose? If you haven't found purpose in life, it won't be very long before you start sinking lower into depression. Okay, and it's
Yes,
really
I
gonna
told someone about that today. That's right.
yeah. So what happens? It, it really it really hampers down on a lot of people and going for the transplant, or like I said, their expectations are low. They don't expect good things to happen to them. They say good things can't happen to them, and that everything in the world's going to go wrong with them. Hey, look,
Right.
I've had some challenges in my transplant journey,
Right.
but nothing I haven't been able to overcome. And the other thing is, it's a correct mindset. I think that helps you get to that point to where no matter what happens, I know what my
Mm.
purpose is, number one in life, and I know when the time
Right.
is, and once I build it, then that's over, and that's fine. But also, since that has carried me so far,
I
and
hear
I think
that,
if
man.
you don't have, and this would be, oh man, this could be, I don't want to say this comment right here is,
Mm.
how would I say this? If you are waiting for a transplant,
Mhm.
okay, better find your purpose before you get it.
Mm.
Because when you get it, and if people say, well, I need a transplant, my life would be fulfilled. Well, how is it going to be fulfilled? What are you going to do with that time? What are you going to do better to the betterment of the human race? What are you going to do that's going to affect
Right.
people in a positive way? And you got to dig far deeper. I've asked people this multiple times. Why did you choose the medical field? Well, I want to help people.
Right.
That's not good enough. I want to help people. I,
Right.
I mean, I mean, the guy at the grocery store can say the same thing when they're bagging groceries. I want to help people. You got
Right.
to go way deeper than that. You got to go so
Mm.
deep that you lose sight of where you were at and that you know where you're going to go. And so
Mm.
you got to dig down way deep and touch the very core of where you're supposed to be. But if you don't find it and you get your transplant, and next thing you know everything bad has happened to you, and then you have the worst experience and yada yada yada. And I get it. There's things do happen, but
Right.
I think it lies at the core. You've got to have that purpose in life, and if you don't have it,
Right.
find it before it finds you. And if it, by the time by the time, if I had not had my purpose before transplant, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
I hear that. So I guess for example, and this is good to know because like I say, I work at in center and acutes as well here, in Phoenix, Arizona, and I talk with the individuals that I help provide care for, that suffer from ESRD. So you gave me a lot to think about because it could be a conversation that I can have with them about what if, like, what would you do if you got a transplant tomorrow? And it's always great to see those stories because at a facility, at one of the facilities I work at, we had two individuals that received transplants, and man, they were glowing, and they came back to thank us, and it's like to be continued. That's when I look whenever I see an individual receive a transplant, I'm like, you got a second chance at life, and it's to be continued, right? It's to be continued. So which I think
But
is great.
but
I think that's
really,
great.
but really, when we think about this, I mean, this should have probably been our topic tonight, uh,
Yeah,
because I mean, I could speak on this all night, but
right.
when you think about it, and this is something too. I hear people say, transplant saves lives, right? You see that, save a life, donate.
Mm.
Um, it. I mean, even the music went quiet on this one.
Yeah, yeah,
But one of the things about it is the my donor, and she understood it, was giving me a chance to live my life. She wasn't saving it; she was giving me a chance to live my life.
That's right. That's right.
It's not saying that, to me, a heart, somebody that's donated a heart, of course, that's with deceased donor, or even liver,
Right.
really, or any some of those transplants, that's life saving. That's saving a life. With the kidney, we have
Mm.
dialysis. We have another form of treatment to be able to take care of that.
Right.
But really, it is allowing somebody to live their purpose.
Right.
And so
Oh man.
when you think about that, it's a lot deeper than, it's more than that. You're allowing somebody to have the opportunity. I was talking to somebody this today.
Mm.
When something happens like this, you're allowing somebody to have another day to fulfill what they were called to do in life.
Oh man, that's phenomenal, man.
Some of that
Woo.
could be, have more time with their grandchildren to teach your grandchildren what they need to know about life. It could
Right.
be somebody's mother, father. I know we've heard this, and it's all true, but it could also be somebody that is an inspiring speaker that's wanting to speak and wanting to teach and wanting to share and wanting to show
Mm-hmm.
these lessons. And so they go out on the main stage, they go out worldwide and international. They speak all over the world, here and there, and teach all that. And that's their purpose, to do
Right.
wanting to do helps, however, and go beyond, just really just talking, to a local group. They want to go share it. It could be somebody that has a company that is fabricating whatever, but it's what they love to do because it
Right.
brings a service to other people. And so they're providing service. So what anybody that's doing in the medical industry that's helping extend, give another day, is allowing that person or those individuals to have that opportunity to live their
Mm.
life. So it'd be, to me, my thought would be this: help me live my life more fully.
Mm.
I think I would go with that.
Oh
But
man.
but maybe we could go even further than that. You
Oh man,
know.
most definitely. Being that said, ladies and gentlemen, and I always like to end with a quote, but tonight I'm not ending the show. Mr. Reed will be ending because this is his fireside chat. So, you know, I love reading quotes off of LinkedIn, and one of my favorites is, of many, is of people first. And Mr. Reed, I want to read this, and I'm gonna tell you, I can. Your what you said in your comment, it can relate to this. Don't forget to enjoy your life while chasing your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that explains, what you just said as far as, the kidney transplant, it didn't save my life. It allowed me to live my life to be continued.
Yeah, that would be a great post to be continued.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, man. I got a million of them in my head. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is when you look at it as, and it even went back. I think I said this on the show. Did I say this on the show the other day? Um, I can't remember. I said it might have been on the show.
Right.
Oh, it was with Wills. It was with Wills. We were talking about transplant. And this thought has really stuck out to me, and especially when I go back and I'm reading and I'm going back and studying some of my journey, is
Right.
life doesn't give
Oh.
you what you want. Life gives you what you deserve.
Mm.
When you
Good
think
and
about
good and good and bad. Good and bad.
that, and for me, and I looked
Oh.
at it this way, life, I really wanted a transplant.
Right.
Life didn't give it to me because I just
Mm.
wanted it. Life
Oh.
gave me that because I deserved it, because I had this dream,
Yeah.
because I had something that I was and that's the thing. I mean, yes, I'm sure people may get a little kickback for that, but it's true. Life doesn't give you what you want;
Yeah.
it gives you what you deserve. If you deserve it,
Mm.
you'll get it. I mean,
What, and I guess it's safe to say that you don't totally mean like someone who experiences a tragedy as far as like death or loss of a loved one. So I use an example. So you know, I lost someone in the beginning of the year
mhm.
that was like a daughter to me. Even though I didn't see her a few years prior, it still hurts to this day. Even as we speak. So with me, you know, I would say, and I can imagine, how the mother and the father feel, because that's a parent's worst nightmare. But I don't know if I would say that life gave me that because I deserve that hurt and pain. And like I said, it's probably different, what you're saying,
Right.
So
It's not meaning some great tragedy. Okay, a lot of
right,
times this quote was actually Jim Rohn actually said it, and he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about business. He was talking
yes,
about when you're talking about you're starting a business. If you want to be successful, it takes more than just wanting to be successful. You've got to deserve that success. And the
yeah,
way
yeah,
I
right, yes,
was because when I thought about that multiple times, I went over my own experience. You got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is from my experience. Life wasn't going to give me what I
right,
want, and
right,
that goes into a lot. And I go into a detail and deep on how all of this came about. From I was on the transplant list for only 4 years. My wait time
mm,
at the time was 5 to 9 years, and so what ended up happening, it was a whole long story, but basically I had envisioned where I wanted to be, and I wanted to be a certain place, and found out I had 2 years to actually get a transplant if I wanted to be at that place. And I pretty
mm,
much made it. Okay, we're gonna get it. I don't know how we're gonna get it. We're gonna, and really just kind of did some affirmations and stuff like that. But had I sat back and did nothing, had I
right,
not been working, had I not kept working on my dream and kept working on these other things, I doubt it would have came. I'd probably still be
mm.
sitting in the chair.
Man,
So it really,
that's powerful. Yes.
yeah, I wouldn't say,
Mm.
not life's not fair. Life's hard. Okay,
True.
it. Life is not fair. Life is hard. There's going to be some things that happen to us that none of us are going to be able to expect. Whether we deserve it or not, sometimes we get it.
That's true.
But
That's true.
if you want to say achieve something significant, okay, you want to think about it this way. Okay, so if you you can't just go out and say I'm gonna be the number one runner at a 5K.
Right.
You got to do something to obtain that. You're gonna have to do the workouts. You're gonna have to do the early morning jogs. You're gonna have to do the constant eating right and all these different
Right.
things. So when you go up to the race, you're prepared for that race, and so by the end of the race, you probably land in the top 5 if you do things and you work right, and because it's not going to give you what. Yeah, I want to be the top 1, but you got to do the work. Meaning you got to work, you got to deserve it. And
That's
for
right.
me, it was a lot, and I had to work hard to get to where I was at, and still to this day. So I mean, this conversation can go on all night, and we can
Right.
really start talking about a lot of this. In fact, it may be something that I may do an audio event and talking about
Oh
that,
yes.
because
Yes.
it's very important. But what I would say here is, um, we each have opportunities every day,
Hmm.
okay, to do something great. Don't miss the opportunities. Life's paying attention.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
and you have to pay for that. If you
That's
don't
right.
do it, you have to pay for that. And I don't want that bill. I don't want to pay that.
I don't either, man. I don't want no bills, but you great. I definitely don't want that bill.
So,
I definitely
ladies
do
and
not.
gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to end the show tonight. I'm not putting on any video. Because I really don't want to mess this thing up again. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically sit here really quiet for the next 5 seconds, just so it can go off of our feed. But appreciate all those that have tuned last minute spontaneous, but we really appreciate that.
That's
And
right.
I've got problems again.
So you got problem. Oh yeah. Did you freeze up? Did I freeze up?
That was me.
I got you. Okay. Okay. I hear that. I guess Restream needs a reboot.
Me?
Yeah, I definitely can. Yes.
You can hear me. I'm just frozen on the screen.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm just frozen. Okay, there we go. Oh, you know how bad it is to be frozen on video? This is getting Restream, help us. Hashtag Reamstream, everybody.
That's why you
Help
always got to smile and make funny faces throughout. See me, I'm always doing it, so therefore it's like the norm for me.
well, help us out, Restream. I mean, uh, I don't want to experience this like I did in some other certain areas and platforms.
Right. Right. Oh my god, Mr.
So,
Reed.
well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna call it a night. But D, stick around. We're not cutting the video out because this thing is gonna freeze.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I don't know. It might be my video. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a great night. We are going to end the show with that. We're not going to do any outro videos, so hope y'all have a good night.
Yeah, good night now. Good night from Phoenix.